The president declaring that he's not really involved in what right now is shaping up to be one of the biggest legal battles of his first 2 months in office. The day started with a deeply frustrated federal judge in Washington insisting that the Trump administration answer for what he calls a, quote, awfully frightening use of the 1798 wartime statute known as the Alien Enemies Act. It's what we've been talking about all week. The judge seems skeptical about its use, but also the timing of how and when this policy was invoked. Specifically, the judge wants to know who made the call to let the flights carrying alleged Venezuelan gang members going to El Salvador keep going, despite his order asking them to turn around. Judge James Boasberg vowed, and I'm quoting him now, "I will get to the bottom of whether they violated my order, who ordered this, and what the consequences will be." He's gotten few answers in the nearly 1 week since those first 2 flights took off from Texas last Saturday. About an hour after that, the judge verbally ordered any planes carrying people being deported under the Alien Enemies Act to turn around. Then he issued the order in writing before any of those planes touched down at their destination, calling for a pause on the entire process. But those planes didn't turn around, and they did eventually land in El Salvador. So as he sought answers today, the judge wanted to know why this proclamation was essentially signed in the dark on Friday night, early Saturday morning. When a reporter posed that very question to the president, Trump said he couldn't answer when the act was signed because he didn't sign it.
I don't know when it was signed because I didn't sign it. Other people handled it. But Marco Rubio's done a great job, and he wanted him out, and we go along with that.
Moments later, Trump again deferred to Secretary of State Marco Rubio when he was asked if he could deport people using that same policy right now.
I would say that I'd have the Secretary of State handle it because I'm not really involved in that. But the concept of getting bad people, murderers, rapists, drug dealers, all of these are really some bad people out of our country. I ran on that. I won on that.
However, when it comes to this issue of signature or no signature, if you look at the proclamation invoking this wartime power over the weekend, it's on the White House's website. It is listed as a presidential action, and it reads, by the President of the United States of America. But even further than that, when you look at the version that is filed in the National Register, it bears President Trump's recognizable signature right there at the bottom. Now, given all of this, at 8:46 p.m. tonight, just a few minutes before we came on air here, the White House put out this statement. I'm going to read it to you in full. It says, President Trump was obviously referring to the original Alien Enemies Act that was signed back in 1798. The recent executive order was personally signed by President Trump invoking the Alien Enemies Act that designated Tren de Aragua as a foreign terrorist organization in order to apprehend and deport these heinous criminals.